So hi friends, welcome back to Devisha NEET Physics Academy, wherein we are trying to solve the physics problems of the previous year's question papers for NEET and AIIMS. Yeah, so these are very helpful because they are the questions which have come in the past, and from our previous experience, we know that practicing them will actually help us crack the NEET exam. So let's proceed with these questions. So the first question is that a body is moving with velocity of 60 meters towards east, and after 10 seconds its velocity becomes 80 meters per second toward the north. So what is the average acceleration of the body? So let's visualize this, right? So imagine a body is moving towards east, right, with a velocity of 60 meters per second. Okay, and then after 10 seconds, so after 10 seconds it actually moves towards north, right? So this is the direction in which this is moving. So this is 80 meters per second. Now what is the change here? So this is a change, right? From vectors you might be knowing that this will be the change, right? So now you can see that this is a right angled triangle. Okay, this is the east direction and this is the north direction. Sorry, yeah, this is the north direction. This is the east direction. Okay, so so what will be this one then? We know that in by the Pythagoras theorem, it will be, so this will be how much? This will be 60 square plus 80 square. Okay, so I'll write it down here. This will be root of 60 square plus 80 square. Okay, so this is the resultant velocity. This is equal to root of 3600 plus 6400, which is equal to root of 10,000. This is equal to 100. Okay, now so this velocity change has been undertaken how much duration? It is 10 seconds, right? So this velocity change in 10 seconds, right? So this is 100 meters per second. Huh? Okay, so what is acceleration then? Acceleration, we know, is the rate of change in velocity divided by the time taken, right? So this is equal to 100 by 10. This is equal to 10 meters per second square. So the answer is given here. So this should be the answer. Okay. Now let's move on to the next problem. A ball is dropped from a high-rise platform at t is equal to 0, starting from rest. Correct. So imagine that a ball is dropped. So imagine the ball is being dropped from here. Okay. Imagine the ball is being dropped from here. Okay. At t is equal to 0. Okay. Starting now after 8 seconds. That is after 8 seconds. Now another ball is being dropped here. Okay. So another ball is being dropped here, but this time it is actually thrown with a velocity of v. So this t is equal to 8 seconds with velocity of, or speed is equal to v. I can say it is meters per second. Okay. Now the two balls meet at t is equal to 16. So now at some point in time, these balls are meeting here. Okay. So this ball will come here and this ball will also come and meet here. Now you might think that how can they meet, because this started 8 seconds before, right? But what is happening is that this is being thrown with a velocity of v, because of which this will travel a little faster, right? Because of which they will meet. Now when are they meeting? They are meeting at t is equal to 16 seconds, right? So what is the velocity, what is the value of v? Now let's think of this, right? So it means this goes for 16 seconds, whereas this is traveling only for 8 seconds. Imagine now this, remember this was thrown after 8 seconds after the first ball was dropped. Okay, so how much the first ball, right? The first ball in, we need to find that how much has it gone in 16 seconds, right? So S, we know that S is equal to ut plus half at square. Now here the initial velocity is 0 plus half, and we know that acceleration in this case is the acceleration due to gravity, right? It's e square. So this is equal to half gt square. Okay, this is for the first ball. First ball, this is the S. This is the distance covered in the 16 seconds. This is equal to half into g into 16 square. Now the second ball is also covering a certain distance, right? So if I say it is S2 and the earlier one as S1, so S2 is equal to, now this time remember, so if I say S is equal to ut plus half of gt square, now remember this time there is an initial velocity which is v, and for how much time it is thrown? For 8 seconds, right? Plus half into g into how much time it is there in the air is 8 seconds, right? So this is equal to 8v plus half. So 68 is 8 square is 64. 64 by 2 is 32, right? So the 32 g. Okay, so this is the distance traveled. Okay, so this is again I'll write it down because there is some 32 g, and this is equal to 128 g. Now how did I 128 g here? Because half into g into 16 square is 256, right? This goes away, this is 128. So this is 128 g. So it means since both of them travel the same distance, it means that S1 is equal to S2, right? So it means 128 g, which is S1, is equal to 8v plus 32 g. Right? It means 96. So it will be 9. So 128 minus 32 is 96. So 96 g is equal to 8 of v. Okay, it means v is equal to 96 g divided by 8 is equal to 12 g. Now we know g is equal to 10, so it becomes 12 into 10 is equal to 120 meters per second. Yeah. So this is the velocity at which it was thrown from the top, right? If you look at the answers, this is the answer here, 120 meters per second. Okay. So now we go to the next problem. So a man throws balls the same speed vertically upwards, one after the other at an interval of 3 seconds. Right? Let's try to first visualize the problem, that what is happening here. Okay, so imagine he's here. So man is throwing the ball up. Okay, sorry, but my drawing is not very good. Okay, so he's throwing up here, and this ball is obviously going to come down, right? So so imagine that at t is equal to 0, at t is equal to say 3, and t is equal to 6. Okay, so t is equal to 0, the ball has been thrown up, right? The ball has been thrown up. Okay, it follows straight path, okay, and then it is obviously going to drop. Okay, similar t is equal to 3, a ball is being thrown up and being dropped here, and t equals 6 also, the ball is being thrown and it will coming down. Yeah, so now when he's throwing the ball here, so at three different instances, imagine that the ball is thrown. Okay, so what he's saying is that the ball is being thrown at an interval of 3 seconds, and what should be the speed of the throw so that more than two balls are in the sky at the same time. Now let's think of this, right? Imagine, so now we have 29.4 mentioned here. Imagine that 29.4 is the speed of the speed at which the ball is being thrown, right? So we know that v is equal to u plus a t. Okay, so if 29.4 was the speed at which the ball is thrown, okay, so 29 is the initial velocity, velocity, mean this is equal to u, right? And at the top, when the ball is reached, what will the final velocity? Final velocity is equal to 0, right? Because the ball stops here and then it reverses direction, right? It means v is equal to u plus at, so 0 is equal to 29.4, and the acceleration is g, which is 9.8. Okay, so this is not given here, but we know that this 9.8 is the g t, so means t is equal to 3 seconds. So it means, had the ball been thrown, if the ball was thrown with, or ball was thrown upwards, the speed, if the ball is thrown upward with a velocity of 29.4 meters per second, then takes 3 seconds to reach the top. Correct? So if I'm throwing with 29.4 meters per second, then it takes 3 seconds, right? That is what we saw. It takes 3 seconds to reach the top. Correct. Now, just try to understand, right? If 29.4 meters per second, it takes 3 seconds. If I throw at a higher speed, what will happen is that if I throw at a higher speed, it will go more higher, right? It will go more high here, right? Because we saw that the time taken will be proportional to the velocity at which it is thrown, right? If the velocity is more, then it will go for a longer duration, or it will go at a higher height, and also the time taken will be more than 3 seconds. Correct? So it means if the speed is, say, more than 29.4 meters per second, then it goes for more than 3 seconds, right? I hope you all agree with this, correct? So now what is the ask here? So now imagine that I am throwing a t equal to 0, 3 and 6, right? So now if I throw at more than 29.4 meters per second, it means that this ball will come only after 6 seconds, right? Or rather, let's take this, right? If I'm throwing at less than 29.4 second, then it will come in less than, if speed is less than 29.4, it means it comes back in less than 6 seconds, right? Now you might think that okay, we talked only about the speed of the ascent, right? What about the descent, right? When it is falling down, how much time will that take, right? So for time for descent, that how much time it takes to come down, right? Time taken, it will be the same thing, time taken to come down. Imagine that we have to compute this, right? So v is equal to u plus at, correct? So now we know that initial velocity will be here, correct? So time taken. So imagine that if I have to attain the speed of 29.4, right? So t is equal to 29.4 divided by 9.8, right? Is equal to 3 seconds. Okay, so total time is equal to 6 seconds, right? So it means if I throw at less than 29.4, it comes back in less than 6 seconds, right? Now imagine that if it comes back in less than 6 seconds, then the third ball is being thrown only at t is equal to 6, right? So it means at that point, I will have only this ball which is being thrown, correct? If I am throwing at less than 29.4. That is why we are saying that if the speed is more than 29.4, means that while this ball is being thrown, the second ball will always also be there. It is saying that I need two balls, right? More than two balls in the sky at the same time. More than two balls means three balls. So that is only possible if we are throwing at more than 29.4. So that if I throw more than 29.4, by the time this will come down, it will be greater than 6 seconds. And this is obviously going to take more than 3 seconds because we are throwing here, right? It means it is taking more than additional 3 seconds. It means we need to throw at more than 29.4 meters per second. This is the answer. Okay. So I hope you all understood that. If you don't understand, please let us know. Please put it in the comments, and we will try to give try to explain it further. Okay. Let's look at this problem now. This is question number 4. A car is moving along a straight path, right? So now imagine that if a car is here going along a straight path here, right? Right? And this is A and this is B. Okay? And imagine that this is starting point, right? The starting point say O, okay? And this, imagine that this is the initial, this is the distance from this to this, and this is the y is the distance here to here, okay? So imagine that when it is starting from here, right, it attains a speed of, it is given here that at A and B the distance are 30 kmph and 40 kmph, right? 30 kmph and 40 kmph. Okay, right? So to attain 30 kmph, let's see what does it take, right? So S, we know that V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. So we know this formula already, right? So the velocity attained here, which is 30 square, is equal to, we started off with imagine that we are starting off with the velocity of U, right? So 30 square is equal to U square plus 2 into A is the acceleration we do not know yet. And this is the distance from here to here, O to A. So this is what it is, right? So 30 square is equal to U square plus 2AS. Now, what about this 40? What about the 40 thing? So it means when do we attain 40? So 40 square is equal to U square plus 2A. Now, what is the distance traveled? So it is distance traveled S plus Y, right? So that is what we'll mention here. So the distance is, yeah, so distance is s plus y. This is equal to u square plus 2a s plus y. What do we need to find? So this is equal to u square plus 2as plus 2ay. Okay. So now, this is equal to 40 square is 1600, right? 16. So this is our one equation here, and here we had the other equation, right, which is 900 is equal to u square plus 2as. Correct. So now what do we need to find out here? We need to find that what is the velocity somewhere mid here, right? So it means when this is y by 2, what is the velocity at this point, right? That's what you need to find out here. So imagine the velocity at this point is equal to v. It means v square is equal to u square plus 2a s plus y by 2. So this is what we need to find out, right? We need to find the velocity of this v. So now, so v square is equal to u square plus 2as plus 2a into y by 2 is ay, right? Correct. So now, so we okay. Now one more thing, right? So having given this two equations, so these two equations. Now if you subtract second equation minus the first equation, we get 1600 minus 900 is equal to u square plus 2as plus 2ay minus u square plus 2as. Okay, so I subtracted second equation from second equation plus first equation. This becomes 700 is equal to the u square plus 2as is there in both of them, so we'll cancel that. So this becomes 2ay, right? So it means ay is equal to 350. How did you get 350? This is 700 by 2. Yeah. So now here we need to find the velocity of v, right? So v square is equal to u square plus 2as plus ay. Now what is u square plus 2as is equal to 900. From the first equation we get this equal to 900, right? So this is 900 here. So this is 900. Okay, and what is ay? Ay we saw here. This is equal to 350, right? So this is 350, correct? So v square is equal to 900 plus 350. This is equal to 1250. So how much is v here? V is equal to root of 1250. This is equal to 25 root of 2. Okay. So this is the answer. This is the velocity at the middle of this AB. Okay. So this is the answer here. Okay. I hope you got this. Yeah. Next, let's go to the next one now. A ball is thrown vertically upwards. With the speed of u. The distance covered during the last t seconds of its ascent. Now, imagine that a ball is being thrown like this, right? Okay, a ball is being, it will be straight though. Okay, my drawing is not very good. Okay, so imagine the ball is being thrown here and it comes down. Obviously, what goes is come down, right? So, imagine that the total time taken from going from bottom to top is equal to t. Okay. So this is the time taken, right? And this is a t. This is the t, right? So this time will be t minus t. Okay. So now we know that s is equal to, us is equal to ut. So okay, let's look at this, right? let's look at this, right? So imagine that this is time taken to go to the top, right? So S is equal to U T minus half of G T square, okay? And what is the time taken to travel this distance at T minus T from the bottom? So S is equal to U T minus T minus half G T minus square, okay? So this is equal to, so if I break this up, this is equal to ut minus half g, okay, t square plus t square minus 2 t, okay. So now this is equal to ut minus ut minus half g t square minus half t square plus half and 2 gets cancelled, so it will be g t, okay. So this is the time taken for going for the this is the time taken for t, this is the time taken for t minus t, okay. So now what do we need to find? That what is the time taken for what is it, this one, right? What is the distance, what is the distance traversed in this, right? So this is the now we'll say that this is the st, and this was, as we said, this is s of t minus t, okay. And obviously total is s capital T, okay. So we have s of t minus s of t minus t, so this is equal to st, right? And this is equal to u t minus half g t square, okay, minus u t t. So ut cancel, okay, and minus half GTC minus this thing is getting cancelled here, right? This one will get cancelled here, okay. So now we are left with ut, right, plus half g t square minus g t, okay. So this is what we are left with, right? And also we know that, when this is traveling up, okay, when this is traveling up like this, right? So here, what will be the time taken? We know that v is equal to u minus g t, right? Which is now v is the speed attained at the top, which is 0, which means u is equal to g into t, because t is the total time taken to the top, right? Means t is equal to 2 pi g, right? Now let's substitute this here now, okay. Okay, so let's substitute this here. Yeah, this is equal to u t plus half g t square minus g into capital T is equal to u by g into t. Okay. So now this goes away, and this becomes, now this is equal to ut plus half g t square minus ut. Right? So ut and ut will get cancelled here. So we are left with half g t square. Okay. Okay. So now, so the answer here will be half gt square. Okay. Let's go to the next problem. The water is dropping from continuously from a tap 50 meters above the ground. The third drop is leaving the tap at an instant when the first drop touches the ground. How far above the ground is the second drop at that instant? Right. So imagine the situation is like this, right? Imagine that the tap is here, okay, and the drops are coming from here, okay, and this is 50 meters above the ground, right? It is given that this is 50 meters above the ground. Okay, this is 50 meters above the ground, okay. So now, imagine this is the, so what happens is that it is falling continuously. Now, imagine when the drop 1 is touching the ground here, which is a drop 1. The drop 2 is somewhere here, we don't know where it is, but somewhere here. And this is drop 3, which is about to fall from here. Okay, so if you look at this, right, imagine that the drop fall, we do not know how much time does it take from one drop to the other, okay. So but the total distance traveled here, we know that is 50 meters, right? 50 meters. So s is equal to half into 10, which is g into t square, right? Into, now the ball is actually the drop is starting from rest because u is equal to 0. It's just starting from tap, right, without any initial velocity. So this is equal to half 10 into t square. Okay, so t square is equal to t into s by 10. So this is equal to 2 into s is 50 meters, right? 50 divided by 10, this is equal to 10. So it means the time taken is equal to root of 10. So what is the time taken? This time is taken for the drop to travel from the tap till the ground, right? So it means that t is equal to root 10 is the time taken to reach the ground, right? Time taken to reach the ground. So 2t is equal to, so now what is happening is that it is dropping at the same interval, right? So it means that, so if it is dropping at the same interval, so it means that, yeah, so it means that here is one, here is one, and here is one. Okay, so if this is the, so there are, we need to find out that after what interval is the drop coming out of this tap, right? So it means if that interval is t, there is capital T, imagine that the interval between the drops is t. So it means when this is hitting the ground, so it means there are two intervals, right? One is this t and the other is this t, correct? It means 2t is equal to root of 10, correct? So it means the time taken is equal to, so it means that once a drop start from this, then after again root 10 by 2, we will have one more drop which will start from the tap, right? So now we already know this, right? So now let's see that in this much time, that t root 10 by 2, how much is the distance traversed, right? So distance traversed distance traversed by a drop in t second, this is equal to half into 10 into t square, right? Half dt square to 10 square is equal to half to 10 into 10 by 4, correct? Which is equal to 100 by 8 is equal to 12.5 meters, right? So it means, now what is the question here? The question is, how far above the ground is the second drop? Now the third drop is about to leave here, right? Correct. Now how far above the ground is the second drop at that instance, right? So now let's look at this, right? So one drop is here. So one drop is here, which is 50 meters at a height of 50 meters, right? The other drop is somewhere here, and the other drop is at 0, correct? So now we know that it drops, it drops say 12.5 meters, right? So it means that at whatever time it dropped, right, this is how much is equal to? This is 12.5 meters, right? So now we need to find this distance, right, which is 50 minus 12.5 is equal to 37.5 meters, right? So it means the second drop is the how far above the ground is second drop? It is 37.5 meters. So when this is already dropped here, okay, so the answer will be 7.5 meters. Okay, let's go to the next problem now. A car accelerates for here what happens in this question, imagine a car is going like this, right? It accelerates for some time, it accelerates for time t1, and thereafter it decelerates, right? It means that the total time, imagine that t1 plus t2 is equal to t, okay? So now what is the maximum speed it attains here? It's accelerating here. So the velocity is going up. Here the velocity is coming down, and eventually the velocity is 0 here, okay? It started from here at 0. Velocity was, say, initial velocity was 0, and the final velocity is 0 here, okay? Because here it is decelerating here, okay? So now we know that v is equal to u plus a t1, okay? So the initial velocity at which it started is, imagine that initial velocity at which it started is 0, correct, plus some acceleration, right? So a t1, okay, means v is the maximum speed attained is equal to a t1. So this is the maximum speed of the vehicle, okay? Now imagine, now let's look at this stretch, right? Let's look at this stretch now. So v is the final velocity is equal to 0, is equal to, if you look at this stretch, correct, if you look at this stretch, then what is starting speed here is equal to, starting speed is a t1, okay? And the final, and what is the deceleration? Oh sorry, and this is the deceleration is, sorry, something going wrong here. Yeah, and the deceleration is b, this is t2, okay? bt1 at1 minus bt2, okay? And we know that t1 plus t2 is equal to t, okay? So it means that if this is this, it means that means that AT1 is equal to PT2. Okay, right? Okay. Now we need to find what is the maximum velocity, which is A into T1. Correct. This is what we need to find here. Okay. So we know that AT1 is equal to BT2, and we also know that T1 plus T2 is equal to T. Okay. So let's bring everything in the form of T1. So it means T1 T2 is equal to A T1 by B. Okay. A T1 by B. So since T1 plus T2 is equal to T, it means that T1 plus A T1 by B equal to T. Okay. If we solve this, this becomes T1 B plus A by B is equal to T. Okay. It means T1 is equal to B T by B, sorry, B plus A. Okay. So now we need to find what is the maximum velocity here, right? So we have, sorry, we have T1 is equal to BT by B plus C. Correct? Okay. So what is the what is the velocity going to be this now? Velocity is equal to A into P1, right? So yeah, so A into T1 is equal to BT by B plus A, right? Now we can also write it as A into B by A T upon B plus A by A. Okay? So this becomes B T upon B plus B by A. Now, so this is equal to A B T divided by A plus B. Okay. So this is the answer here. Okay. So the answer is here. So this is the answer. Okay. Now let's move to the next one. Now friends, if you are enjoying this, please you can subscribe this to this channel so that whenever we are releasing new videos, you'll get to know. And also if you have any comments, then please let us know. We will try to respond to that, right? So here it's given that a train of 350 meters per meters length. So imagine 350 meters per length is going towards north. So imagine that is going like this 350 meters 350 sorry 350 meters length in the length of the train. Okay? So there's a train here, this train which is going at 350 meters length, right? And a bird flies. So this is, as we saw, that this is moving towards north direction. Okay, and there's a bird which is moving towards south, right? Okay, and it is at a speed of 15 meters per second. So and this train is moving at the rate of 20 meters per second. Correct. So now what is the relative velocity here? Now we all know that if something is moving in in the opposite direction, in the opposite direction, there will be difference of the or a sum of the velocities, right? Sum of velocity, correct? Because they are moving in opposite direction, right? So it will be 20 plus 15 is equal to 35 meter per second. Now, what is the distance? It because the bird is trying to cross the train, right? So the train length is equal to 350 meters, right? So what is time taken? Time taken by the bird, it will be 350 by 350 by 35, which is the velocity. 350 is the length. This is equal to 10 seconds, right? So this will be the answer. So friends, these are the questions which I wanted to highlight to you. So if you have any doubts, you can always give your comments, and please subscribe to this channel so that you get access to more such solved questions, right? If you have any questions, please let us know. We will try to resolve them. Okay, thank you.